Hi. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about time management and how I manage to get a lot of things done in a short period of time and how it contributes to a lower level of stress for me and both my business and my personal life. So one of the things that really drives me nuts is hearing these people talk about how they have this, I got this 50-hour work week. I got 60-hour work weeks. I got 16-hour work days. I work all the time. And you hear all these people that are just bragging about how much they work instead of bragging about what it is they accomplished. What did they learn? What did they build? What did they do? What did they get done? What project has their name on it? No, it's just I work this many hours a day. And the reason that you find a lot of people do that is because it's really, really, really easy to sit at your desk and say, I'm working, or sit in your office and walk around and look at what other people are doing and think and come up with ideas and say, I'm working. But it's really hard to actually come up with a structured manner within which to live your day so that you can actually get stuff done. And I don't care if I sit here for 16 hours a day. That doesn't mean anything to me. What means something to me is that after my work day is done, what have I accomplished? Am I further ahead than where I was yesterday as a result of what I did today? Do I know a considerable about more today than I did yesterday? Have I made more money today than I did yesterday? And that's what really matters to me. So what I have is I have a very, very basic system. It doesn't require that you spend any money. It doesn't require buying special software and syncing your business management, your personal life management software with your phone and your Exchange server, any of that silly nonsense. Or having all it requires is pen and paper or a notepad on your computer. So what I do is I break up my day into the tasks that I'd like to get done. So there are certain projects I want to get done. If it's an ambitious project, what I'll do is I'll break it up into tasks. I'll break those tasks up into subtasks, and I'll assign each of those tasks something like 5, 10, 15, or 30 minutes. And I'll break it down to the point where it's really, 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 really simple. And what this does is it's meant to accomplish two main goals. The first goal is that it gives me confidence. So one of the things that happens here is that when you give yourself a half hour to accomplish something really basic and you get that thing done in 3 minutes, it's like, man, I'm making good time. And the second thing that it does, in addition to feeling more confident about what you're doing, is it also helps you to realize that 24 hours is an insane amount of time in a day. A lot of people say there's not enough hours in a day, and once you start following a system like this, you'll start to figure out that 24 hours is really too much. I mean, there are a lot of things that I've chosen to do. There are a lot of projects that I took on because I realized, I'm bored. There's not much else to do. Again, like learning board repair, a YouTube channel, a school for board repair. All of this stuff came up because it's like, man, I got nothing left to do. And you're going to find that when you have a system like this. It's not going to be any more, wow, there's no time. Rather, it's going to be, wow, should I fire myself? I mean, am I a waste of my own company's resources? So let me just give you a few examples of how I set this up with my own business. So I'm going to go over to Open Office, and I'm going to open up some of my to-do documents. I'm actually going to open up all of my to-do documents, and I'll scroll through them, and I'll show you some examples of how I get things done. So this is for a weekend about a month ago. So this is to fix a messy computer that had weed all over it. I gave myself 15 minutes to literally, just compressed air it, and after compressed airing, it just glue it back together. Not glue, use the double-sided adhesive. That takes no more than 3 minutes. I gave myself a half hour. Let's see. Diagnose another machine. A diagnosis that would have taken me 90 seconds, I gave myself 15 minutes. I wanted to show my new receptionist something that she would have to be doing. That's a 90-second task. I gave myself 15 minutes. Make a list of YouTube videos to do for the blogs. That's literally me copying and pasting off of YouTube. That takes less than a minute. I gave myself an hour. These are the videos that I wanted to do on all the different basic electronics courses. I gave myself an hour for each video. These videos are 5 to 10 minutes each. So again, what this does is, you get to work at the beginning of the day and you say, these are the things I want to do. And you start doing something and then you get sidetracked by something else. And then you say, you know what, this is kind of related to what I started with, so let me do that. And when you have this system in place and at 10:45 I have to do this, at 11 I have to do this, at 12 I have to do this, at 12:30 I have to do this, you don't allow yourself to get distracted by all these other things. If somebody starts having a conversation that you could turn into a 30-minute conversation, you don't turn that into a 30-minute conversation because you got to get all these things done. You'll maybe take that little idea and you'll have a 2 or 3 second talk about it, and then go, tomorrow let's talk about what we just talked about. And so you have your little idea, and after your 2 or 3 minutes you frame that idea, and now you can talk about that framework of that idea tomorrow, and then you can get going on to everything else instead of spending 1 or 2 or 3 hours discussing it today. And again, one of the third things that the system is supposed to accomplish, which I didn't mention earlier, what it does accomplish is it keeps you from getting stuck on one thing at the expense of everything else. So let's say with this mess that had weed on it, let's say that there was some other small issue with it that he was totally fine with, probably as a result of the fact that he uses his computer to roll up his weed, and he didn't care about it. And let's say it was an issue that I thought would take 10 minutes to fix that wound up taking 3 hours to fix. Let's say I went through all of that and I wasted my day. Well, if I do that, then all this other stuff during that time doesn't get done because I wanted to do that one thing. So, but when I know that I have all this stuff to do, it just structures my day and keeps me from going off course, from going off topic and doing things I'm not supposed to do. Because here's the thing when you're an entrepreneur, here's the thing when you're a new business owner. You're the only one when you start out most of the time. Since you're the only one when you start out, all this stuff here has to be done by you. It's not like you have the repair staff and then the diagnostic staff and then the human resources staff and the social media staff and the electronics video staff. Like, I don't have a fucking social media staff and this staff and that staff when you start out. You have you. So what happens when you get stuck on something? So if you get stuck on one thing, you can literally make it all the way to 6 o'clock and not get anything done. By having this system, what you do is at the end of that 15 minutes, if you have not completed the task, it goes onto the list for tomorrow. That's how it works. So it allows you to get all these other things done. You can't get all these other things done. You can't get all this stuff done if you get stuck on this little thing over here. And that's the point I'm trying to get across. So the first thing the system does is this system gives you the confidence that you of achieving a goal, of success, of feeling like I gave myself this much time to do it. Because again, you know that your day is going to be maybe a 3-hour workday, a 5-hour workday, a 9-hour workday, and that's how you set the times for this. And what you do is you give yourself these tasks. You give yourself a subtask of the main task that's so small that you know that 15 minutes, it's impossible to not get this done in 15 minutes. So what it does, it gives you that confidence from knowing that you are getting things done ahead of schedule. The second thing it does is it makes sure that you're actually getting all these things done, and it keeps you from getting distracted by everything else, and it keeps you from having an entire day where you didn't do anything. Anybody who's an entrepreneur knows it's really easy to go into work and stay there for 16 hours and run around in a little hamster wheel and not actually get anything done. This helps me also to separate my hamster wheel work from my building my business work. Hamster wheel work is, I have to replace the backlight fuse, I have to fix our bias in the USB mux so that they'll pay me a few $100s, I have to do this, that, and the other thing so that I'll get money from regular walk-in customers. That's hamster wheel work. I can do all of that in an hour. It's just going to be right back here with a bunch of other stuff. It's never going to end. Building business work is, let me come up with a curriculum for the school. Let me upload the Introduction to Basic Electronics video as a prerequisite for the school so that I can actually start getting some people coming in. Let me go for this licensing course so that I can get this license to do this new thing so that I can start making a bunch of money doing this new thing. I'm going to be talking about that later. And, that this really does help because I give time to that. I give time for the stuff that I need to do. I give time to the hamster wheel work, but then I also give time to the other work that is going to help me out much more. And let's go on and see what else I have here. So even for videos, I want to do research for a video before I do it. Then I do the video. Then I give myself a half hour for research. I had a question about an inductor before I did the inductor video. That one question took me 90 seconds to answer. I gave myself a half hour. So again, what I do here is I come up with the amount of time that I want to work in a day. I come up with the things that I should do, and then I put them into a list. And once they're in that list, if I think that task is a little too ambitious, like, for example, design website, I'll break that task down into the simplest basic forms. I can't design a website. I don't know how. Whatever. Let's just choose what type of website do I want. Do I want Magento or WooCommerce? So how do I know if I want Magento or WooCommerce? What is my website going to do? So I'll make something that looks like this. So let's say I get to work at 1. What will website do? Research what will do it best. Make post on freelancer.com for developer for this type of website. Find pictures for product X for website. Right. What should be on homepage? So I'll figure out what it is I want on the homepage. Figure out what you want on About Us section. Write homepage content. Write About Us section. Yeah, like, and you can just do this and go on and take this this task that you think is going to take weeks or months, and you can literally get it done inside of a day by just, what you do is you take the difficult thing, you break it down into small, easy things, and instead of giving yourself due dates, just break every single task down to the point where it's something that's so simple that anybody can do it in 15 to 30 minutes. Another one. So, get to work, eat. I give myself a half hour to eat. Again, this is an important one because a lot of people they rush through their food. And then they that's the one part of the day where they get to relax. They ruin that one part of their day where they're supposed to relax to rush through their food, and then they get to work all haphazardly, and usually they're late because they give themselves 3 minutes to eat, and they think it's only going to take 3 minutes to eat. It takes more than 5 or 10 minutes for them just to get food when they go someplace. So what I do is I actually gave myself a full half hour to eat my food. Then I give myself 15 minutes to simply open the door to the store. And again, this goes back to my video from 3 years ago now almost on the 15-minute rule. If you're living your life where if you get stopped for 15 minutes that things are going to stop working the way they're supposed to or you're going to get in trouble, you're screwed. You have to stop that. What if I get to work and I have to use the bathroom? What if I get an important phone call? What if there's a mess? I like giving myself that time. So on this particular day, I don't know why I planned on opening at 2, but what I did is I gave myself 15 minutes for whatever it is. Reinstall. So I gave myself 15 minutes to do a reinstall that takes 6 minutes with cloning. I gave myself 15 minutes to copy data from an SSD to an SSD when it was very small. I gave myself 15 minutes for the phone call in case it was annoying. I gave myself 15 minutes for this other phone call in case it was annoying. I wanted to do diode mode measurements on a certain part of a bad 2915 board here. I gave myself 15 minutes to write down measurements from 3 parts of the board that would have taken me probably 10 seconds. And again, you go on in here, and you can really get an idea that all of this stuff is, it's small things I need to do, but it's really easy to say, I'll do this later. Oh, I'm working right now. I'm busy. I'm not going to get food. No, at 5:45, I have 15 minutes that's for nothing but refilling my water bottle because I know that after working for 3 or 4 hours, I'm going to start getting dehydrated. I know damn well that I'm a workaholic and that I'm going to get distracted by all of this. So what I do is I actually put it into my work list. For this 15 minutes, all you're going to do is make sure that you're well fed and hydrated. And again, all these little things that I have to do, all these crazy big tasks, I break them down to the point where any moron can accomplish them in 3 or 5 minutes, and I give myself 15 to 20 minutes to do them. Another one. So this is to finish a ticket. I give myself 5 minutes. Fix something else. By fixed drive, I mean just setting it up to DD rescue. Finish this up, I mean put bottom screws in it. I forget what that was for. I knew I'd probably have to use the bathroom by that time. I gave myself a half hour. I gave myself 15 minutes just to check the work that a freelancer did for me. I gave myself 15 minutes to post a blog that I had written on the train. I gave myself 15 minutes to post another blog that I had written on the train. Again, this is a lot of stuff to get done. But when you read it, they're all simple tasks. But again, how many people are 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 years old and living their life working for somebody else, or even worse, working for themselves and not really just being in that mindset where like, I'm working 12 hours a day, but man, I got nothing done today. This list keeps that from happening. This list is what keeps me, again, seriously, this list is what keeps me from spending 4 or 5 or 6 hours on a motherboard when I know that I could be spending that time going out to dinner with the staff, or going to the gym, or going to see a movie, or going to see a Broadway show, or going to the Museum of Natural History, or going home to pet my cat. This list is what keeps me on task so that I don't let rabbit hole nightmares take over my life. This is what keeps me from going, you know what, why is this PHP shipping code on my website not working the way it's supposed to? I want accurate shipping. No. I need to move on to the next thing. This list ensures that at all times I have respect for my time and respect for my life, and the fact that my time and my life has a value that I cannot take away from that just to try to solve some stupid little problem and spend all day on it. That's what this does. And again, if if you say that you're working 12 or 14 or 16 hours a day, are you really working, or are you like, reading Slashdot and Twitter and, gossiping with your coworkers and twisting around in your chair while thinking about what to do when you're not actually doing shit? Or are you actually accomplishing something? Because you know what? One of the things you're going to notice with a lot of the people that actually accomplish something, they don't spend all day at work. They don't spend all day sitting in a chair wondering what there is to do next. They spend a couple of hours doing this, a couple of hours doing that, and they're done. There was somebody who used to work here a while ago who used to seem really frustrated at the fact that for about a month, I would come into work at about 4 or 5 o'clock, and by 7:30, every single one of the boards on my desk would be done. Whether or not I said, no fix, no fix, 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 or a bunch of fix, or a bunch of no fix, I would spend those 2 or 3 hours doing that. I would check up on how the staff was doing. I would check up on how the store was doing. I'd make sure everything that had to be here was here. I'd do my board work, blah, blah, blah. I'd go home. It took this particular person, for something that I allotted this much time to, it took him maybe 3 or 5 hours to do. And it seemed kind of, But that is really a structured way of living life. Why am I going to spend 3 or 4 hours on something when I can get it done in much less time? Why am I going to go outside of this structured way of doing of scheduling my day when I know that going outside of that structured way is just going to lead me to misery? The one thing I got to say about this method, the one thing I have to say about this method, it does require discipline. It's very easy to say, I'm this close. Everything else in this board works. It just needs a backlight fuse, but I'm a minute over. You really need to have the discipline to say, you know what? No, fuck this. It goes for tomorrow. You need the discipline to say, I'm like one sentence away from finishing this blog to post it. No. This goes to tomorrow. I couldn't complete it in the time frame. You have to have discipline for this to work. And a lot of people are going to come up with excuses. And the reason a lot of people use the work excuse, a reason the work excuse is so popular, is because it seems disciplined to them. It actually does. It seems mature. Well, I need to get this work done. That's why I'm screwing my entire schedule over. Because work is a seemingly mature thing, right? No, it's not. Because you're not going to get all the other work done that you need to get done, whether it's work in your business and other aspects of your business, or in aspects of your personal life, or aspects with your family. You're not going to get any of that done because you don't have the discipline required to say, this task didn't get done, and it's not going to get done until tomorrow. Not much I can do. You need to have, you need to respect the list. You need to respect what you put together at the beginning of the day. You're not going to let any one of those tasks on your list ruin your day, or ruin your schedule, or ruin what you put together for yourself. The discipline is what matters. The discipline to stick to what you wrote matters more than any one of the tasks on this list. And that's really what I want to drive through your head. And, again, there are times when I say that I don't have a lot of time, and I'll be honest with you, this list helped me a lot during those times to realize I did, even when I was kind of failing. I am taking a weekend licensing course that is taking up over 80 hours of my time. I am sick. I had an employee that was out for surgical leave for over a month at the same time that I have to fix boards for all of the walk-in customers, all the mail-in customers. I had to fix all the regular laptops, along with doing all the board repairs, along with managing a business, along with getting audited. All this stuff is happening at the same time while I'm trying to build my business, while I'm doing YouTube videos for you, while I'm creating a curriculum for a course that I'm going to be holding upstate with Jessa less than a month from now. How do you think all this gets done? The list. No, it's not a staff of 20 or 30 people. It's not that I have, hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars that I can just spend on other people to do all these things for me. It's being structured. And if you follow the same structure, what you're going to notice is it feels really rewarding when you get all these things done. It feels really rewarding when you take an annoying task and you break it up into small subtasks that take 15 to 30 minutes. You give yourself that ridiculous amount of time, and then you work through it and you chomp through it, and you take this insurmountable huge task and you chip away at it 15 minute by 15 minute bit, the same way that the guy in the Shawshank Redemption just over 20 years just kept chipping through that wall. I think he had a picture of Rita Hayworth or something, and he just kept, and he had it right where he was chipping away at the wall with a rock hammer over 20 years. You just keep chipping away, and eventually you're going to be on that island, Zawantaneo, that he made it to, off of your own discipline. And it's a good feeling.